All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bobcat Weekly Podcast, episode 29, coming to you live from Bozeman, Montana. It kind of decided to snow/rain this afternoon.
It's
maybe.
winter today. It'll be summer tomorrow.
Right, yeah, it'll be back to 70 degrees tomorrow. But we're kind of back on track with our episode schedule. Like I said last week, we've got a rodeo episode that'll be coming out next week, the week of the rodeo. But a little bit different of a structure show today, different guests. We've got some familiar faces sitting at the table, two national champions. Welcome on, guys. Happy to have you here. And then our third guest, like we announced on the Instagram this morning, John Campbell. John, welcome on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so kind of going in a little bit different route, whatever you want to call it, for our episode this week. John's got a new NIL company, whatever you want to call it, AO all day that you're kind of getting into. So we kind of wanted to take this show to break down what you're doing, kind of what your goals with it, talk about NIL and college sports, kind of that whole deal, everything else in between. But yeah, should be pretty good show. We're also recap basketball. Women's basketball finished up their season this past weekend. We got a little bit of track stuff to cover and some women's golf stuff as well. Spring sports getting underway. But for you guys that are new here, my name is Caden and I'm here with
Aidenkuntz.
And Brady's not with us tonight. As you can see, he had prior obligations. So
him.
Aiden's on that side of the table tonight. I'm still over here. But Caden and Adam, welcome to the show, guys. People know your faces, but we're happy to have you here. So, yeah, like I said, NIL episode should be a lot of fun to get into. So, John, kind of we'll start with you and kind of hear about what you have going and kind of, why we're sitting here tonight.
Sure, yeah. So thought it'd be fun to start a company called AO. I think there was I'm noticing a niche or a gap in the market in terms of Bobcat apparel. Kind of seeing like some evergreen and repeated designs and wanted to enter into the market as a premium Bobcat apparel company. On top of that, I think there's some really interesting angles that NIL can take, and I'm working with these two over here. We've got AJ23, me and Adam repping the shirts, and then Caden, we're still tweaking, working on his stuff. That'll be announced, I think May or June. We'll be running with that. But both brands will be available this summer. I'll have a merchandise tent set up at Adam and Taco's summer camp. So if you're in one of those areas, you can come to the tent and make some purchases there. But at the root of it, I'm really passionate about how NIL can be used as a tool by the university. And so I think best place to start is just with some storytelling about NIL and where I kind of noticed this overlooked component or discrepancy or kind of go from there. So, I mean, as we all know, prior to 2021, that's when NIL was introduced and college sports operated under this model where student athletes generated enormous amounts of value to the program or the university that they played for with very limited ways to participate in that value themselves. And so that changed significantly with the introduction of NIL in 2021. So for the very first time, student athletes could monetize their own brand. And they started by running camps, signing endorsement deals, selling merchandise, promoting other brands. We see this locally, we see it on a national level as well. So truly, in my opinion, one of the biggest structural changes in recent history of college sports, right? So, but no one really, so rewind to 2021, no one really knew what NIL was going to look like, right? They weren't really sure what the market was going to be. So we had these groups like student athletes and universities and compliance departments all trying to navigate this thing in real time. And so universities, I believe, approached it with caution. Like MSU, they approached it cautiously, which was very appropriate. And they made their priorities for it very clear. They needed to stay compliant with NCAA guidelines and state rules or guidelines. They needed to protect their brand, their trademarks, their logos, the Bobcat logo, right? They needed to protect their athletes, and they needed to avoid any kind of legal exposure as well. So this NIL policy goes into effect, and then these guardrails get put in place. And those guardrails made sense, but as I referenced, I think that there's an overlooked component to this, and it's that in many cases universities became observers of NIL activity rather than participants. in it. And so, and even today, like we see all this NIL activity existing just outside and around the program and not necessarily with it. Like Bobcat Collective, like all of us in this room can look at Bobcat Collective gear, see that Bobcat logo that they've built, see the players on the shirts, and we can relate it back to the university. But there's no university marks or logos or references directly with MSU. And so that's the opportunity that I'm noticing. Fast forward to today, it's 2026 and NIL, I mean, when I talk about it with people, they still reference it as the Wild West. And I think there's some truth to that, but I also think there's opportunity for structure for it. And the market is truly maturing, and we're seeing across the country athletes building personal brands and growing massive social media followers, right? Like, I mean, we can see that locally with Taco. You guys are going to clown me, but Livy Dunn, like, she's a masterclass in NIL. I saw a podcast with her on it once. Don't make fun of me. It's true. Like, she's seriously promoted her brand and the endorsements that she's gotten from it. It's truly incredible. And I saw her on a podcast once. I think it was just a clip, but someone was criticizing her, like, you never go to class. What have you learned in college? And she said, I learned how to manage a multi-million-dollar brand. Okay, so I'm seeing NIL as this entrepreneurial incubator now more than ever. It's no longer just about endorsements or promoting brands locally. It's about student athletes building real brands and fostering connections to the communities that they're building them in. I mean, MSU, the Bobcat community, supports you guys more than anything else, right? And this is where I see an opportunity. So instead of NIL existing outside the university ecosystem, I truly think that there's opportunities for collaboration. And, we can talk TD14, for example, right? TD, Taco Dowler, 14, number on his jersey. He is our standout wide receiver on the Montana State Bobcats. All of us in this room and some people listening can connect those dots. But come Gold Rush, there's going to be 100, 200 people wearing that hat. And there's going to be fans there that are saying, I keep seeing that hat. How does that relate to the Bobcats? And so what I'm trying to do is help them connect those dots by creating a structure, a system where Taco can get recognized not for just his stats and his touchdowns on field, but his character and his leadership within the program, and then allow him to earn the privilege to co-brand with MSU and add a Bobcat logo to it, okay? So instead of random deals happening everywhere, we can see something much more intentional. We could see student athletes like you guys, like going to the university, being invited or recognized by the university to build something meaningful. You guys, if you're well positioned and ready to build something with MSU, you could work with their design teams and the university. And then fans in turn would be supporting you and supporting the university with it, all while MSU gets to maintain brand integrity throughout this whole thing. Like I mentioned, like that logo, those marks carry serious weight to them. And so this is where my idea for the asset framework comes in. So ASSET stands for Athlete Standards and Suitability Evaluation Tenets. Athlete Standards and Suitability Evaluation Tenets. I know it's a mouthful, but ASSET sounds really cool.
Okay.
So I'm rolling with it. And so the idea for it is pretty simple. What it does is it allows players like you guys to be recognized and then evaluated across 5 key areas. Okay, so character and conduct, leadership within the program, brand alignment, digital presence, and NIL readiness. Okay, so the goal is for MSU to use this as an objective framework to help identify athletes who are well positioned to and capable of building something meaningful alongside the university. So essentially guys who are representing the program at a high level. This will create a clear and consistent standard for who earns access to deeper brand collaboration rather than just leaving those decisions to be subjective or reactive, right? And I'm not affiliated with MSU. I'm not associated with them. I'm class of 2019 grad, love the Bobcats, but I'm not in any way like working with them, but I really want to be. I want to help them build something. And when I think about this and I put myself in their shoes, like from their perspective, I see ASSET as 3 things at its core. It's functioning as 3 things. One, it's a brand management system, or a risk management system, a brand protection layer, and a revenue enabling structure. Now, all NIL conversations tend to talk about money. So like the revenue enabling structure, we can talk about that. And it's not necessarily about limiting NIL. What it's doing is it ensures that the university is only paired with athletes who align with MSU's values, their identity, and truly like their long-term vision. So it's reinforcing that any kind of co-branding opportunity is earned. It's a privilege. It's not a right. This isn't given. And so what I'm trying to do is build a structured system that is scalable and safe for the brand to allow MSU to move from observing NIL to actually operating within it. And, I'm seeing this opportunity where we can turn NIL policy into our competitive advantage. And programs that use NIL to strengthen community connections will retain players better. We have a great culture here, right? Like you guys love Bozeman. It's awesome, right? Like we could probably go to all the players and get input. They love the culture here. They love the fans. They love the community. They love the opportunities. But, what I'm really seeing is, recognize. I've been really focused on that. Like recognize these players for who they are, not just on the field, but off, okay? Recognize for this player, for his character and growth. That recognition creates opportunities for him. Those opportunities create connections for him in Bozeman. Now he's planting roots here. Those roots create retention, and retention leads to stability on a football program. Okay, this is across all college sports. I'm just thinking football because I'm working with you guys. Programs that retain players are stacking talent and winning. Okay, that's why the asset framework matters. It's not just about organizing NIL. This is really about setting a standard for what it means to represent the program. And when that standard is clear, it's powerful. It creates this powerful ripple effect, and players will rise to it, right? These standards are visible. Like, look at what I need to do, who I need to become to create this really cool co-branding opportunity with MSU, where I can create merchandise with MSU logos on it, where I can meet people in the community I wouldn't have the chance to meet otherwise, where I can truly leverage at my NIL, my brand, in this entrepreneurial incubator and learn about business acumen and truly thrive in Bozeman, while you're at school and once you graduate. So, I talk about retention, right? Recognize, reward, retain. And, obviously I'm referencing the transfer portal, right? Transfer portal is terrifying to me. Like, and I'm not trying to hate on it. Like, I love the transfer portal. I just don't love it when it takes great talent from Bozeman, And so we need players to plant roots here, and roots matter in a world where movement is easier than ever, okay? So, and, programs that win are rarely built on constant turnover. They're built on continuity. They're built on roots. They're built on stability. NIL truly introduced us to this new tool that can be used in college football. And the question now is how universities choose to use it. Okay. And I kind of see it. I was thinking about it today, and it's like 2018, the transfer portal was open, obviously introduced by the NCAA. And then 3 years later, it's 2021, and they allow players to, capitalize and monetize their brand, their name, image, and likeness, right? And I almost see it as like NCAA being like, cool, here's a transfer portal. Players are now allowed to move willingly. And then like a few years later, they're like, oh shoot, like here's NIL. Let's see if universities can figure out how to use this. I don't know if that's true. I just thought in my head, like transfer portal and then NIL, it just kind of seemed pretty close to it. So, we have a great culture here at MSU. We have a winning program right now. I'm just trying to explore and be creative to the tools that MSU can use to build this cultural foundation with systems and tools in place that we can rely on when we actually need them. Okay, who knows what, I hate to say this, but who knows what our program's going to look like in 10 or 20 years, but if we can adjust policies or at least understand them to a level where it'll enable our options we can have those options, those tools, these systems in place to rely on them when we truly need them. So, and I don't see anyone else doing this. Like, I don't see this in any other university system, or, maybe there's some NIL collaboration, but nothing truly like this where we can recognize players for who they are as people, and it's not just about stats and touchdowns, okay? And I think Montana State can be a leader in this, not just in the Big Sky, not just in the FCS, but in college football as a whole, and be recognized for it. At the end of the day, like, this is about players feeling connected and feeling at home. I want to turn MSU from a school that some of these players are going to and feeling into a community that they know and trust and rely on, and know that the fans that are there on Saturdays cheering you guys on, they're there to truly support you and not just the program. This is really an opportunity to create a deeper connection with the players and not just the program or the university. So, and when players, when we retain them, when they decide to stay and build, that's when programs bring home championships, okay? And that was really fun in January. Let's do that again, okay? And this is the kind of program that I want to help build at MSU. I know that was like probably 10 minutes, but like, I'm stoked on this. Mm-hmm. I think that there's serious opportunities within NIL that can position MSU as a leader in how it can be used, and also a participant. Like, we see all this stuff existing outside and around the program. Let's try to find a creative way to use it as a tool that we can leverage above any other program in the FCS.
Yeah, you said it kind of right when I was thinking it, but you just laid a whole lot on us about your plans, your idea with this. I don't really see anyone else anywhere else doing this. I think it's a super unique thing that obviously NIL is nationwide and it goes hand in hand with the transfer portal and that. But yeah, so we can get into a whole bunch of stuff about that. But you had a couple points in there that I kind of wanted to go back and hit on. The first one being retention. So we talked about between last week's show and the show before, men's basketball. They announced the other day they have 100% retention going into the 2026-2027 season, which in this day and age of college sports, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And so I kind of wanted to go a little bit more into that about what kind of retention means to you in terms of, it's obviously a lot different between football and basketball. Where basketball you have a much smaller roster and obviously a giant football team. So kind of how does that play out for you?
Yeah, I mean, well, great insight. Like, if you lose one player on a basketball team, that might cause more damage than it would on a football team. I'm not trying to, credit one player to another and how they transfer and their choices are theirs. But, I love that insight though, like 100% retention rate for our roster at basketball. That really speaks to the culture we already have. Yeah. We have a really strong fan base here. We have a really strong culture. I want to keep this momentum going. And I think that using something like this, if MSU has any like insight into this or, questions about it or anything, or however they decide to use it, I'm all for it. Like, if they want to reach out to me and I'd love to work with them, or if not, like, if we can see 100% retention across all sports programs and we can credit back to what Montana State University is doing for its culture, for its community, for its players, that's a thumbs up from me. Yeah. And like, what's our football retention this year? We only lost a couple guys.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty high. Yeah,
it was really
like
high.
95%, something like that, maybe more.
I honestly don't know. We lost.
Yeah, probably 90%.
Yeah.
Ish.
You guys gotta know this.
You're right. I mean, it's a big squad, but younger dudes, especially.
Yeah,
it's harder to keep them, the out-of-state guys.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I think of Dane Steele, right? Like, sorry to name drop you, Dane, but like, freshman red shirt, right? Going into his sophomore year, like, think of the opportunities that were presented to him right after that hurdle. How many, his phone probably melted the next day with people interested in at least having him explore whatever university. I'm not for certain on that. But, I can imagine, like, the stress and whatever, going through a player's mind, especially after, being in a culture, being in a community like Bozeman. So, sorry to name drop you again, Dane.
Yeah, so, Aiden, one comment you mentioned a couple weeks ago when we were kind of recapping men's when they were done with their season, going back to men's basketball, is you thought that this was kind of the first season Coach Logie really got his hands on with the team. Obviously, past years there's been kind of players in and out portal wise, but this year we talked about it, but they were just kind of plagued with injuries throughout the season, and we kind of just settled upon. And Keaton made a good point of it, is they never really got to their full potential with the injuries they had and all that. But going back to your point, I think he really did have a good handle on this team. Mm-hmm. And it goes to show when they did that Instagram post, 100% retention. I think Logie's really got something special going there on the men's side.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, think about like the chemistry of retaining these players, the foundation that you're continuing to build on with any sport program. I mean, maybe like, I mean, I played tennis in high school, so like maybe like singles tennis, but still there's chemistry on that team. You know, you lose one person and the morale can take a divot, or, you know, I think retention is the most important thing that universities need to focus on right now. And I think there's a lot of tools available to maintain that. I mean, MSU is doing a great job with the culture that they've built, with the fans that they have, not just for supporting the program, but for supporting the players too. And I truly believe, I mean, you guys can speak to this because I'm not a MSU football player, but like, you must feel it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you feel the fan support.
Oh, yeah. Bozeman is special.
Yeah.
And we're both from Montana, so we've kind of always experienced how much football and sports means the whole state of Montana. But right now, being a football player, really any athlete at MSU, women's basketball, men's basketball, rodeo, the top down, the support is like unreal. Like, you go to any sporting event and if it's a good game, it's gonna sell out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's 4,000 people at the women's basketball game the other
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, I was there. It was
Unreal.
tough to find a seat.
It was.
Got there like 6:55. Should have gotten there at like 5:55.
I mean, we had to park in our tailgating spot over by the new indoor practice facility because the parking lot was that packed for that game.
Yeah,
it
I
was-
parked illegally at TNC. 60 minutes, you know.
Yeah, we were chatting with the rodeo girls on Friday. We turned on. Aiden and I were coming from downtown. Turn on the keggy. You pull up. I'm like, the lot is full. Like, the Fieldhouse lot is full. Like, this is nuts. And that's kind of one of my next points I wanted to get into is community. Obviously, we're kind of a broken record, as we have said, but you guys mentioned it a bit ago. Across all the sports, everyone talks about the community. When we ask them, why is Bozeman so special? Why'd you come here? Like, recruitment-wise and stuff, they always talk about Bozeman and the community. And so I think that also speaks to NIL in a sense of, I think we have a special community of, you know, lots of players partnering with stuff. I mean, you guys both Bobcat Collective. There's a lot of other players doing the same thing. But, I mean, how do you take community in a place like Bozeman?
I mean, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Community is everything. Like I'm saying, like, we need to turn. We can turn a school into a community. We don't need to do that. I'm generalizing among all universities who can truly capitalize on this NIL policy adjustment that I'm thinking of. Obviously, I want MSU to do it first. But MSU doesn't need any help with their culture, with their community. They're doing a stand-up job. All credit, I mean, everyone will say credit to Waded Cruzado and to now Brock Tessman. I mean, it seems like these guys are doing truly an incredible job at leading academics and the sports programs at MSU. So, yeah, I love Bozeman. I planted my roots here in 2015. I don't imagine ever going anywhere. And, part of it is truly because of MSU, of the community that I feel with it. Seeing people with a Bobcat hat on at the grocery store, whatever, a little nod, go Cats, things like that. You making fun of me? I'm serious. I'm serious.
No,
Like,
it's true.
yeah, like, go Cats, you know, like, yeah, you know, you're leaving a gas station, you know, town pump employee, a cat hat on, yeah, go Cats, you know. Whatever, like.
Yeah. I don't think, like, you're talking about this framework, no offense to other universities in the country, I don't think anyone can do this. I think it takes a special place like Bozeman and a whole state of Montana like we have for this to work. And, I mean, not only to work, but to work right away.
Yeah.
Like, and to produce results right away. So I think that's why this framework with MSU, if they were to take it in and do something with it, I think it could, like, there wouldn't be much lag time.
Right. Well, and like in terms of it, like I'm really trying to describe this as a very delicate and selective process and evaluated across 5 key areas. the talent that exists in Bozeman, you wouldn't want to oversaturate this opportunity, but it'd be pretty tough not to with the stand-up guys and girls we have on our sports programs right now.
Across all sports.
Across all sports. These are good people. These are not just good athletes, they are good people. Like the 5 evaluation keys that I'm focused on: character and conduct, leadership within the program, brand alignment, NIL readiness, digital presence. Like, I can't think of one person who fails at any of those things across the sports that I'm aware of at MSU. So I think it's truly like the culture here brings these, highly respectful and caring and, hard work ethic people onto these sports programs, and it's noticed. It's immediately noticed by the fans, and they constantly are there to support it.
Yeah, I think a big thing that we've certainly talked about over our weeks, more specifically with football guests, and I kind of go back to, I believe it was week 11 or week 12, Cleveland Thomas, super close friend of ours.
Yeah.
We talked about his experience from Kentucky coming here. He spent a couple years at Kentucky before transferring out to Montana State, and he talked about, it was super interesting to talk to him about a caliber that big of a school, that size of, they were more of like Kentucky basketball, right? Like, everyone knows Kentucky basketball. Some people kind of knew football, and then everything else was just kind of like down here. But like you already touched on this, but I think Montana State is a special place where everyone knows a football team. Everyone knows a basketball team, both the men and women's. I mean, everyone knows. I would say we're putting rodeo on the map, especially this year, but a lot of people know the rodeo. Club hockey, tennis. I think it's a special place where literally everything here, where people know everyone. And I kind of wanted to circle back to community you talked about with recognizing people out in public, saying hi. I mean, I saw someone in Helena the other day with a Bobcat hat on, said hi to him as I walked by. But a kind of specific moment I wanted to go back to, Aiden, this was week 20 with Taylor. We talked about, obviously, community and all that under the sun, but she had a super cool experience she was telling us about where they have like, I guess, a friend or through a friend that they developed here in Bozeman the last couple of years. And like, Taylor came to this little girl's birthday party last year, and she's going again this year. And I think like that's a cool, I think Bozeman's unique in that sense, where not everywhere, not something like that is going on.
You were at, what's Tim Tebow's foundation called that you and Taco, were you there for that too, Caden?
Caden was there, the Night to Shine.
The Night to Shine. You guys heard about that?
A little bit.
Yeah, dude, tell him about that.
Yeah, it's like it's through the Tim Tebow Foundation, but it's basically like a prom night for kids with special needs and disabilities, and they bring their whole family comes, and they have their parents go on a little date night, and then we get paired with our honored guests, and so Taco, me, Jake, Brock, a big group of us were there, and we got paired with these honored guests, and we just had like the best night ever. I think we danced for like 3 straight hours. It was like I played a football game the next day. I was so sore. But, there's stuff like that in Bozeman, and like you're going to kids' birthday parties. Like that happens all the time on our team. Or you go after a game when everyone's on the field. Like these kids will come up to us after every game, like with the same energy, like the happiest kids in the world. Or we coach them in next level. And then you have a group of kids that you've coached for flag football, and then they become your biggest fans, and then you get to know their families. And that's like 3 examples then there's like 100 different stories that every dude could tell. So. And
you're extending it beyond, your participation at MSU. I mean, you and Taco, you're doing the sports camp, the summer camp this summer. I mean, age between 6 and 14? Like, think of all the kids in all these different places. Like, I'm excited to see attendance in Missoula for an MSU, for 2 MSU players hosting a football camp there and just seeing what the turnout's going to be. I mean, you guys are truly on this campaign to turn the state blue and gold. Yeah. And I'm here for it. And they're doing that with or without MSU. I mean, obviously MSU has a big campaign to constantly be pushing to have Montana recognize the Bobcats over the Grizzlies when it comes to football and other sports. But you guys outside of that, I mean, I think that's awesome, and working with these kids too. And, your hand is going to be tired from signing autographs at the end of the day at each one of those.
Yeah, I mean, the camps, Caden's been a part of them too. Like, they are a ton of work, but especially last year, like, we only did 2, but the day of the camp, when you see all those kids and how happy it is and just the energy, it's, like, so worth it. It's worth all the random phone calls or Zoom calls or, hustling pretty much. That's what it is, because you're right, we don't have MSU, we don't have a business to run this for us. It's just Taco and I and Caden and all of our teammates, like, coming up with ideas and in the locker room on the couch, like, let's do this, let's do that. And it really does pay off, because you get to see all those kids after the game and they think you're the coolest guy in the world, and really we're not. But MSU and Coach Vegan and all the sports, like, you're at a time right now where you can capitalize off that, and to do something where you can give back, I think, is what NIL is really all about. And I mean, there's a lot of talk about money and stuff like that, but Bozeman's unique because of the community. Like, there's not a value on the relationships you can build here. So that, number one, I think, is why players stay right now, is just the relationship part.
And think of, like, the business acumen that these guys are learning and experiencing right now, building the camp. Like, Taco and Adam are putting this whole thing together, 1,200 expected campers this year, they're working with me, they're working with the fields that they have to work, the fields they have to reserve, like, all the different, the website, the registrations. Like, these guys are learning, like, real business experience. That also needs to be recognized. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all's plan is when you graduate, like, but regardless of what it is, like, if it is going to be entering into the workforce, the workplace, that experience needs to be noted on the resume, so that you're not, and I'm thinking, like, bigger collectives and stuff. But if a player's making, I always think about this, like, imagine a player making $200,000 a year playing at XYZ school, right? And they don't make it to the NFL, and they don't have any kind of, like, brand presence to build on or leverage, or, that they built while they were in school. And then they go into the workplace and they're being interviewed for entry-level positions offering $50,000. That shock, like, after all the work that they put in, like, you guys are truly doing something special here, where you're not just building a brand, but, like, you're building true business acumen and experience that should be noted. Like, to anyone who's going to be hiring these guys, if you guys go into the workplace, like, don't put them in an entry-level position, because they have the networking skills, the communication skills, they're detail-oriented enough to pull off this whole summer camp on top of spring ball and going to school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, time management, add that to the resume too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Adam, going back to your point regarding just, like, camps in general and that stuff, I think that's also something that makes MSU unique in that sense. Like, you go to an SEC school, Big Ten school, at least to my knowledge, you're not doing a summer football camp with your wide receiver one and your running back from, whatever SEC school, like, at, in small town Montana at a local high school field. I think that's super cool. And going back to your point about kids coming up and saying hi to you after the games and stuff, I think I have it saved on my phone. I have a picture of Kenny Aiden after one of the games, and it's kind of shot from behind, and he's kneeling down signing, and he probably has 15, 20 kids completely surrounding him, and it's such a cool picture. Like, and that's not just Kenny, that's you and Taco and everyone else. Like, obviously that also doesn't happen at way bigger schools, and another thing that makes MSU unique.
Dude, yeah, after we started, like, working on each other for your brand, it was the national championship celebration on the field, and I wanted to come say hi. It would have been impossible. There's, like, kids and fans, like, of all ages surrounding me. I'm like, I'll just shoot him a text and get it next time.
No, Taco is. Oh, Tommy. I mean, still.
Yeah.
Tommy, that's, like, an unreal amount. I mean, Tommy can barely walk around at games.
Yeah.
He's done playing, and like, the support here, and it's lasting. Like, you get out of your pads at a bigger school, no one's gonna recognize you. But what MSU does here, and it is just the community, the whole state of Montana. Like, they want to know you beyond, just the football player. So that's special.
Yeah, well, you get out of your pads. I mean, at a bigger school, if you're from Montana, you're probably coming back to Montana, so I think those relationships, like we were talking about, you build them, and it's not just for this 4, 5, 6 years you're here. It's for the rest of your life if you're staying in Montana, you know what I mean? So I think that's huge as well.
Yeah.
So we've heard a lot from kind of the business side of things, and now Caden, Adam, I'd kind of like to hear your guys' perspective on transfer portal since that started, and then now NIL. Obviously, that's kind of why we're here, is talking about NIL and the business side of things. But I just like to hear you guys' kind of experience with it. Obviously, you've partnered with some local businesses and that, but just kind of your thoughts on it, overall experience.
So start with the transfer portal, kind of.
Sure, yeah. Sure.
Yeah. It's a stressful time. It obviously happens while we're still playing, so that doesn't help. You know, you got a team, and you got random agents that don't really know your name trying to hit you up. You know, some guys fall for it, some guys don't, but there's just all sorts of communication all over, and there's no real way to go about it that like, okay, I'm going to be taken care of, unless you really know an agent or anything like that. So it's scary. It's scary for everyone involved. And, the guy next to you in the locker room, you don't know if he's going to be there after the national championship or not. So,
yeah.
It's a stressful time. And then, it's real. Like the opportunities for probably, 20 guys on our team are very real. And, whether it's other colleges doing it legally or not, I think it's still on the table. And I think they just find loopholes to get in communication with you. So really Coach Vegan stressed with us was just staying honest with him. Like if we have something that's stressing us out, you get this person calling, you get this school calling, whatever, he wants you to go in and talk to him and lay it all out there, And I think that's really unique. I don't think many coaches want to do that, and you see like a Connor Moore who was here for a couple of years and transferred out to Michigan State. Coach Vegan not helped him get there, but he was very transparent with Coach Vegan through the process, and there's no real ill feelings towards him. It was a good opportunity for him, and I think we do it right around here. So that's really my spiel on the transfer portal. I don't know if you have anything.
I think, yeah, let me get this. Well, I think Caden, you summed it up like very well. Like he said, the Wild West. I think that's very true to like what it can be like as a player. In experiences where we go deep into the playoffs, these bigger games you play in and you perform well, like those top dudes, like I'm not going to say names, but they're getting phone calls after games, and you're getting messages from agents that are saying, what number is it going to take, or this school from here, or this school from here. And it's really, if you let that like information get to you, it goes like, it messes with your head. And we've seen it happen with so many players for right or wrong reasons, and it's not their fault. If you don't have people that are there for you, it can be something that you can get taken advantage of. And I've seen that happen to people, not just on our team, but, all over the place in college football. And it sucks, especially when you lose someone close to you, who you grew close with in college football, and they're a phenomenal player, phenomenal person, and then they kind of take the wrong advice, and they're gone like that, and you can't get a place like Bozeman back. So I think what Coach Vegan has done and what us players have bought into, Tommy's class, and like just the people above us who have kind of taught us what it means to go about your business the right way, to treat this place right, leave it better than you found it. I think we've treated NIL not perfectly at all, but I think we're doing it better than most teams, just how transparent we are. I mean, we've had Coach Vegan has had opportunities that were real these past 2 years where we didn't know if we were going to lose him, and he's talking with us through that entire process, and you're not going to get that anywhere else. So I think you see that from your head coach, in the respect that, I gained for Coach Vegan, you're going to want to do the same for him. So I think a lot of credit goes to him.
Yeah, you kind of started to talk on this a little bit, but obviously we look back to this past season, very deep run in the playoffs, capping off with the national championship. How do you think that influenced this year's team specifically in terms of the transfer portal?
I think it starts with, we get more eyes on us from, playing those bigger games. You get more eyes on you. There's other schools that may want you that aren't playing anymore, so their only job, those coaches, are just recruiting. So I think that's pretty big. And then, I think from what we went from as an 0-2 football team to winning the national championship, I think we grew really close together. And I think it's really hard to leave, your friends, your best friends that you've had for the last couple of years and gone through all this with, and gone through summer workouts, winter workouts, spring ball, fall camp, all that with. Just to have a long season like that and it be so rewarding. On top of that, having a head coach and all the assistant coaches that you really believe in, that believe in you, I think it makes it almost impossible to leave. So I think that deep playoff run, it makes us hungrier to come back and want to do it again. So, yeah.
Yeah.
When Vegan says to be transparent with him, do you guys find yourself being transparent with each other first, and talking about this? What are those conversations like? In the locker room, or when you're talking to your buddy next to you or whatever, you gotta stay, or what? Or because at the end of the day, dollars will always be dollars, and if there was a player who got offered $1 million to go play somewhere, you'd have a lot of Bobcat fans immediately become fans of whatever university they went to play for, because that's tough to say no to. We would still support a player like that. Carson went to Indiana, right? From one national championship program to the next. I loved watching Fernando Mendoza from the moment he won the Heisman to the moment they won the championship. And I won't ever be an Indiana fan the way that I'm a Bobcat fan, but it's really cool to see how that was built, and now to see a Bobcat, hopefully be playing on that program. But back to you guys, what is that really like? When the transfer portal's open, what are those conversations like for you guys?
Yeah, I think they're stressful, but they're real. I think obviously you have certain dudes, or our team's huge, so naturally there's going to be cliques, but I think we do a really good job where when you're in the locker room after practice, everyone's just kicking it, and there are conversations where man, I want you to stay. I know that you're getting opportunities, and if you ever want to talk about it, let's talk. And it's really up to each player to go about and navigate the transfer portal if it really is affecting them, but we do have conversations like that. Every year for however long NIL and the transfer portal happens, it's going to be something that is talked about in the locker room. And I think the players that handle it right, and if they do leave and if it makes sense for them, I'm automatically a fan of whatever school he goes to. Carson, Connor, there's a long list, but
We'll be watching those games on Saturday too.
Yeah. And Connor, he's in Omar. I just saw Omar at church. On Sunday, and we had a conversation after, so I think that it's kind of cool too. So
yeah, I think I just think back to when I remember Adam, Taco, me, Jake, we all used to go to Stormcastle on Fridays, just kind of after our little regen thing we do, even during the season, and we talked about it. We talked about kind of what was going on, where each other were at with the whole process. So it's inevitable. I think people are going to have to talk about it, and if they don't, they're going to implode on themselves on the football field and in academics as well. So I think having a safe place to talk about it, and I didn't sense any judgment from really anyone. It's what's best for you, dude. Whatever you need to do to be successful, I'm in. So I thought that was really cool.
Aiden, from a fan's perspective of things, with this transfer portal now, especially after the national championship, I remember back now, those first couple episodes after the national championship, we were all kind of pretty stressed here, sitting not knowing what everyone was going to do, especially those top names. Yeah. And just kind of, refresh the Instagram, just kind of keep up on things. But from a fan's perspective, I mean, and you can talk on this too, like after the national championship, like we didn't really know what was going to happen. Like when you look at some of those top names, like what's this team going to look like next year? But that was definitely stressful from our perspective as well.
Yeah, super stressful for fans. And, as I've been digging into this more, and you guys referenced it, like the awareness to these unethical agents. Like once I started talking with you and Dane, it was like, I can't remember how it started, but like I think you were saying, someone had told me, the moment you get an agent, the first thing they say is, let's see who's going to pay you the most. Because they're taking a 20% cut of whatever university or program you're going to get transferred to. And so, on top of like the community building, the culture building of asset, I think there's another opportunity for MSU to explore, and it would be like an NIL elective course. We already have a great entrepreneurial and business program at MSU. I think if players are interested in building a brand and being a student athlete, I think there should be an elective course for them to register for, to learn more about agents, to learn more about business building and acumen, to learn more about, you guys could lead that. At least be a use case for it with the summer camp, and any other kind of opportunities that you work on, like the trading cards or the socks at the bookstore with AJ23 with the brand we're going to do for you, Caden. Like, I think there's a lot of like tools that can be used to create a school, a class, an elective course that you guys can take to, one, be aware of agents and the ethics of it, but also like how to build your brand. Those would probably have to be two separate classes. But I was just thinking of that in terms of like culture building, and then that would give students a better chance to understand, and if they wanted to become agents one day, start their own business. Or go into the sports world. I'm not telling MSU to start its own sports management program or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
It would be cool.
But
I just had a quick thought. The agents too. I don't know if everyone doesn't know this, but anyone can call themselves an agent. Like there's no qualifications to be an agent. Like you get hit up by a guy who has 127 followers on Instagram. Like, all right, dude, I don't think you know what's going on here. So that's another wrinkle to it that you never really know, I don't think, right now. So that would be really beneficial, I think.
Yeah, and then kind of transitioning to my next point, you guys are two players that have partnered with local businesses, Bobcat Collective, all this other stuff, but kind of a look into NIL for you guys and the merch and kind of that side of things. How's that for you guys?
I think for me, NIL has been like the most beneficial just by meeting people. And obviously my stuff with John and my brand is kind of just in the early stages, about to take off. So merchandise and stuff is pretty new to me. I'm kind of a guy who likes to fly under the radar, I'm not as entrepreneurial as Taco, and I'm really jealous of how good he is at that. We're not all like that, so that's just doesn't fit our personality. But for me, the people I've met here, the businesses that I've gotten connected with, I know is going to serve its purpose when I'm done, and all of our time as football players is going to come to an end. I'm going to ride that out as long as I can, but I'm confident in knowing that the people I've met through NIL, through the collective, it's going to serve a purpose for me, and I'm probably going to work for one of those people. So, I hope one day I get to raise my family here and go to every single Bobcat event possible. So I think that's been the coolest part for me.
Yeah, I second that. I'm pretty fly under the radar too.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too much.
It's true.
But I second everything you said. So couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Good stuff. What else do you want to talk about in terms of business stuff before we kind of keep moving along? Anything else? Any other points you want to hit? Anything we didn't cover?
My friend Nate asked a question on Instagram, and it was what my vision for NIL at MSU is, and for long term, imagine like 5 to 10 years, like MSU having some type of model NIL program and not doing it the loudest way, but doing it the right way. Would love to see something like the asset framework being used or something similar. And seeing co-branded opportunities be limited and selective, and earned. But like I said earlier, I think that'd be pretty impossible with the type of rosters that we're building here. Like, these are all good people, and I mean, you heard it from both of these guys throughout the podcast, and just knowing them too. Would love to see like athlete-owned brands become a true standard. Like, if you want to be here and build something that's available to you, working with partners in the university. And talking about agents, like, anyone can be an agent. I was on the phone with a friend earlier, and he's like, "You could turn this and be an agent." I'm like, I do not want to do that. Like, I don't think that's a place for me. Like, I love working with you guys, but not in like a sense of whatever agents do, like represent you, right? Like, my goal would be to have AO become the infrastructure behind any kind of like student athlete brand. Like, if you're here at MSU and you want to build a brand, if you're a Bobcat student athlete, everyone's saying, "Oh, well, you got to go through AO." Like, that's a huge goal for me. And then, I mean, like I've said, like, I would love to see some co-branding existing. And then truly, like, at the baseline of all this, I want to see us use NIL to drive retention, to create recognition, to reward the players who are, either great on the field or, I mean, just truly great people off of it, and retain them so we can stack talent and build chemistry and develop and really cherish the unique culture that MSU already has, but just adding to that. So I don't know if you guys got any. Did you say you had some
we got a couple, I believe.
I've ran for like an hour with this. So
I saw like one.
One,
was
maybe
there more
two.
than one? There was one from your mother. Is there another one that I can't see?
There might be one in the comments of the reel we posted. There might not be.
Oh,
that was
but-
my buddy
I didn't
Nate.
look on the reel.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, that was it then. Yeah, so we just have one more. That's fine.
Oh, I saw 6 comments. Okay.
His
Okay, those ones aren't helpful.
Yeah, I think my wife said something like, "So excited."
Oh, it's just
Yes.
one of Keegan's
Can't
friends
wait.
saying he knows where he lives. So
Oh, yeah.
that
Did you see
doesn't.
my comment?
No, what'd you say?
Party at Keegan's house tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he lives, Preston, he lives across the back from us. Thank you.
All right. The one question that your mom had, if I can pull it up here, was for John. What made you decide to get into NIL with student athletes?
This is a funny story. Like, it was a day after national championship. So would that have been a Tuesday? And I was driving to Helena for work, and I mean, like, I was on my phone the whole drive, just like reaming in all the highlights and stuff. Should not be saying that. But, I couldn't help it. And there was I went on to X or Twitter or whatever, and Taco had his phone number in his bio. I called it, went straight to voicemail. Like, I was like, "Oh, don't disturb his on." I called it again, one dial tone. He picked up, and I'm like talking to him. I'm like, "Dude, I have this like whole vision to like build out like a student athlete owned brands and stuff." He had already been working with his agent and stuff. But
Yeah.
then I think that night y'all did the R-Bar meet and greet. That's where I met you and Dane, was talking to you guys about it. And then I just started to like learn more and more about like, creating cool brands for you guys. Like, Taco came out with TD14. I'm like, that's super sick. Like, I think I could help student athletes build something that they can identify with and build on that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I was just kind of going down the NIL rabbit hole, and I was like, whoa, and I'm going through the licensing process right now with MSU. That's why I respect the university brand so much, because it's truly a heavy process to go through to be able to have the trust from the university and CLC to create merchandise or apparel with MSU marks on it. And so, lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Just going down like the rabbit hole, I noticed that there weren't any like opportunities for student athletes to leverage their NIL to collaborate with the university. And I'm like, why not? Is it just part of the policy? Is it because it's too risky to work with student athletes? there needs to be some type of like system where these student athletes can be evaluated and that trust can be built and these opportunities can be earned for them. And so that's really my angle with like this NIL policy adjustment. I don't really know how to call it because like MSU has a great NIL policy right now. The only thing I want to do is introduce them to this idea that co-branding is possible and to do it in a very manageable, scalable, and safe way. So I think that, I don't know if that answers the question, but
Yeah, I think so. I think it does.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, kind of moving along with things, you guys know the structure of the show. We kind of finish up the interview with our get to know you questions. I think we'll do full length episodes with these guys in the upcoming season, but I think it could be super fun to do kind of the get to know you questions today, as for John as well. I mean, I think we can ask him some are athlete specific, but I think we can probably get him in a couple of those. So you haven't pulled up, so I'll let you do them.
Yeah. So we'll start with our first one. This one's pretty easy. Just what's your favorite place to eat in Bozeman?
Stormcastle.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, Stormcastle, any place downtown. I mean, I don't know. I also do love Sidewinders. We go there a lot, but
Sideburns
chicken
pretty
hot
good,
dogs
yeah.
had to be-
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
John, what about you?
I can't stop thinking about the salchicha pizza at Blackbird. I love the vibe there, but like if I want pizza, I'm going to Bridger Brewing. Like that place
Yeah.
just hits so
Oh, yeah.
good every time. So
Yeah, good answers. I'll pull up the next one here. This one's more for. It's structured more for Caden and Adam, but I mean, it'll just be your
It's
favorite
okay.
your favorite thing to do. But it's your favorite thing to do outside of football.
Hang out with my dog. His name is Boogie.
He is here tonight.
special guest.
If-
Get him up here.
For the video people,
right now.
for the people watching us, you guys seen him. Probably hear him making some noise.
He's been getting mad at the
Boogie
something
Time
over there, but this is him.
You have something to say?
You got something? Yeah, but I like to hang out with him. That's pretty much what I do outside of football. So,
And he has an Instagram page, is that correct?
yeah. He does.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Put it, Aiden, put it in the bio.
I don't really know Boogie Time something, number 5 or something like that. So follow him up.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam?
For me, I mean, we don't get a lot of time off, but when we do, it's the summer, so, or warmer weather. So I love to golf.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Pat Duchesne. I go with him the most. But we have so many dudes on our team. Like Caden's pretty dang good. He doesn't even go a lot. He won't say he's good, but he's good. And yeah, I think just anytime I
Razor
can.
rides.
Oh, Caden and I are pretty good at driving the Razors.
Nice.
I don't know how Coach Vegan let the entire football team, or not. I mean, Coach Vegan Summit Sports. I don't even know, but yeah, we got to take Razors out before fall camp,
Yeah.
like the week before.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to drive because I knew I would do something dumb. So Caden was driving and
Still pretty dumb.
still pretty dumb. I got in the driver's seat for like 5 minutes and I flipped it. And, but I'm not only there were like 10 dudes that flipped the Razors. So.
Where were y'all at?
Somehow
Where were
Jake-
you riding them?
Big Sky.
Yeah.
Big Sky.
Nice.
But Jake Vegan's probably the most skilled driver. He was out of his mind, like going 40 miles an hour over the turns. Never flipped it.
Yeah.
Never once.
Wow.
My friend's dad owns a like motorsports dealership, and like these things are insane. Like these $80,000
Dude.
open cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Freaking hit the pedal.
yeah, I don't know how much horsepower, but
Yeah, well, it was up in Big Sky too. So you
just
start at the
rocks
bottom and you get to the
yeah.
very top
Oh
and you
my
can see the whole peak. And
It's like
I
going
think
up to
Caden and I
resort.
spent 2 hours laughing the entire time.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Yeah, my face was sore,
Yeah.
like from smiling and screaming and laughing.
Dude, in the
yeah.
helmets too. They're like so tight.
Yeah.
We stopped and took some funny pictures, but yeah, I think golfing, fly fishing is another one. I'm not very good, but I have some friends that are really, really good. So I like to do that. Really anything being outdoors in Montana in the summer. It's really hard to beat. So
Yeah,
Not a
well,
bad place
Aiden,
to
we've
be.
had a decent amount of our guests say golf, so I think we're gonna have to do some Bobcat Weekly golf days this summer.
Yes.
I think that'd be pretty
That'd be
fun.
fun.
That'd be
Tournament?
Oh, we could.
That's a good idea.
That's a
right
really
there.
good
Great
idea. We have the sim in the garage, but yeah, we can also go out and play Cottonwood. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to work up something. Yeah.
Yeah. Tournament. That is a good idea right there.
Yeah.
It'd
Great.
be some fun summer
Like
content.
invite all the guests. And,
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Like book out like 45 minutes, an hour of tee times, and just go back to back to back.
Yeah.
That could be really fun.
All right. John, what's your favorite thing
Yeah,
to
it's
do?
golf.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean,
figured-
I'm a huge advocate. I'm always saying like Bozeman needs a lake. I grew up in Coeur d'Alene, and so like
Yeah.
any kind of like boating, surfing, hydrofoiling. I barely know how to hydrofoil, but it's always fun to try.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
bought a foil. What was that? 2 years
I
ago?
do
Last year.
a couple years ago. Yeah. It doesn't get out a ton, but it's fun when we do. Yeah.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
like
I'm scared to try that.
I'm like a huge advocate in like all my friends being able, like we're all good at gravity sports, and like if like do you ski or snowboard? Like I ski, I could get on a snowboard and like figure it out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Hydrofoil is like the most foreign,
Nuts.
weird, like impossible to find the balance sport I've ever. And, but like you can, sorry, you like
fine.
I like dream of it. Like I'm like I know how it's supposed to feel, but then I get
You
out there and I'm
can't
like
do it.
this does not feel normal at all.
Yeah, and I mean, we get out and surf a pretty good amount during the summer too. You
Yeah,
just
we
gotta-
do.
Your family's got a boat, which is convenient.
You're gonna have to invite all the guests out.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
too.
working on it. Bobcat Weekly weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get up to the lake one weekend in the summer. It's the 4th every year. So
You got a flathead or?
yeah, my family has a place in Big Fork, so
Oh,
Nice.
I have like
Yeah.
20 of the dudes on the team, and it's
No way.
not a very big place.
Yeah.
But
And it's like warfare, but it's fun.
It's fun.
nice.
All right. Next question on here. This one's more for Caden and Adam, but who has been the biggest impact/influence on your journey so far?
Like on the team or
Just in your life in general.
well, I guess he's on the team too. It'd be Taco for sure. We get in small groups as a team, and we kind of have that same question that we go around and answer. And it's always been Taco, just because, I mean, he's my twin brother, and we do everything. Everything we've ever done is the same. So there was like 2 summers that I played baseball and he ran track, and then I switched over and just ran track and didn't play baseball. So yeah, I mean, we've spent all our time together. I think it'd be hard not to be Taco for the answer. So
I think for me, definitely both my parents for a lot of different reasons, but I mean, I grew up and my dad was my coach, and literally taught me everything about how to, be a professional long before you are a professional. I think that's really true, and just being, humble and how hard work can get you places, I think is instilled a lot in me. And then my mom for, this is probably not a very cool thing to say, but I'm kind of a mama's boy because my dad was the big rule guy, and then my mom would let me get off the hook on things. So I think that was kind of a cool relationship I had with her, and she's a hard worker in herself, and she's an attorney, and watching my mom in court is like the most badass thing I've ever seen. So, she has an article that's written after that says "I like to win" is the cover page, and it's a picture of my mom. So I think that speaks volumes. But I kind of have a different answer for football. I think he's not here anymore, but Coach Mix, he just left us sadly. But he had a huge impact on me. I came as a freshman and was told that I was going to redshirt and had to play scout team, and my relationship with Coach Mix, I did not skip a beat at all for not being one of his dudes that year. And he taught me really how to play football, and college football is not easy and it's hard and you have to sacrifice a lot, but he taught me how to have fun with it and enjoy it, and it's really the little things. And I'd spend hours in Coach Mix's room just getting outside. In Coach Mix's room, just having conversation about life and the farthest things from football. So I think him shining that light on me that people care about you for not just a football player here at MSU really impacted me, and and I think we had a really good room. We had Scotty and Julius and Colson, and it was pretty unique. So I'd say Coach Mix.
Good answer. All right, moving on to our next question here, if I can get it pulled up. This one's kind of a fun one. I'll ask you this, and then I'll ask Caden when he gets back from letting Boogie out. If you had the skills to play any other sport professionally, what would it be and why?
That is a great question. I think we had this argument, Caden. The most athletic sport, I think, is basketball. We concluded. Like, I would love to be that athlete where I can jump in East Bay and 360 windmill.
Yeah.
But on the same note, like rodeo, riding bulls, that would be
That would be so much fun.
I don't know if it's not the ability that you need, it's like the guts to get on there. So I don't have that, but I think one of those two.
Most athletic?
Like
What's
if you could pick another sport?
Oh, to be good at?
to play professionally, and you have the skill set. You don't doesn't have to be something you already had. You get the skill set
I
when
would
you
be
pick
a
it.
relief pitcher in baseball.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Love it.
So,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Come on. You go in for 2 or 3 innings.
And get $100 million.
Yeah, you sit and eat seeds all day and then go chuck it 100 miles an hour
Yeah,
for
like
a couple innings.
Mason Miller comes in for the 9th, throws like 104, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
And then you're the coolest because you get
Yeah.
posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah,
you throw
exactly.
100 forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good answer. All right, next question on here. If you could give one piece of advice to the younger generation of athletes, what would it be?
You got it.
That's a really hard one. There's a lot. I think don't set limits on yourself, or don't let other people set limits on you. I think being from Montana, there's not a lot of exposure, and we've dealt with that our whole lives. And now you get here and you see that we're top-notch athletes here across all sports at MSU, and a lot of those people are from Montana or small rural communities. So I think don't ever set a limit on yourself. If you really think you can do something, there's always an avenue to get there, no matter what people say. So
Yeah, I'd say keep working hard. That's, so cliche, but that's really it. Like, no matter what happens to you, you can control. I always talk about this in some of my interviews, but like, you can always control how you respond to something, whether it's something that happened that's good or bad. The only thing you can control is how you respond to it. So I think that's really the biggest thing, not just in athletics, but in life too. We always say good play, bad play, next play, and I think you can apply that to life as well. So, yeah, that's what I'd say.
Good answer. All right, moving on here to our next question. What's your favorite song and or artist right now?
Mine's artist would be Rod Wave, I think, right now. Yeah, I think Rod Wave.
that's a hard one. I listened to
Or like Garth Brooks
Garth Brooks is good.
Nice.
Yeah,
lately.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I listen to literally every type of music possible. So, but right now I'd say, I don't know. I don't know. I like kind of different music. Like, I like Mumford & Sons,
Mm-hmm.
and they're actually coming to MSU.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're coming.
I just
Yeah.
saw them in Phoenix. They're insane.
I saw them last year at Under the Big Sky, and it literally was like the best performance I've ever seen. And from then, I liked them before, but from after that, I'm like their biggest fan. So, yeah.
Yeah, good answer. All right, and then this one's kind of a fun one. This has been, I think, our overall favorite question so far. But who on the team would you not let date your sister?
Most.
Yeah.
Um,
Not. Don't want to throw shade. Who would I most?
Takari said all of them, right?
Takari said
When we were
everyone.
Here. Yeah.
he let everyone date.
No,
No, he
said
would
no
not
one.
let anyone.
Yeah.
I think
Everyone
Paul.
had been saying to Carl.
Yeah.
I think Paul said everyone except Takari.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did. I'm digging deep into the bag with Ben Winters. I'm not letting Ben Winters date my sister.
Yeah, I don't want to expose anybody, but that's a good one. Yeah, probably Brock Steele. I hope you're watching, Brock. And Zach Cruz, for that matter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
That
there
just
you go.
about does
After
it,
your
yeah.
week 29 standings, Takari still stands as first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you
doesn't
ask,
Y'all need to have like a leaderboard. or
Yeah,
something.
we do.
Yeah, who's not allowed to date anyone's sister?
And with 400 points, it goes
yeah.
Awards at the end of the season.
Yes.
Yeah, oh my
Not
god.
Kari's not
allowed.
allowed to date anyone's sister. All right. And then you want to ask our question of the season?
Yeah, Bobcat Weekly question of the season. We've had a lot of yeses, a lot of nos. We could include John in this too. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Sure. Yeah.
I honestly don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And I've gone both ways, but
Okay.
yeah, yes, I think it can.
All right.
Yeah, I heard y'all ask about this, and I was like, I don't really have an opinion on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you want to
Yeah.
do that, like, I made a pineapple chicken yesterday. Like, is that okay?
Yeah.
Am I gonna get
Yeah.
arrested for making pineapple chicken or like judged?
I'll kind of eat anything that's in front of me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think there's pineapple on that summer elote or winter
Yeah.
elote from Bridger.
Yeah, there probably is.
It's good. Like,
Two more yeses
I
to
just
the
wouldn't trust
count.
pineapple from like
We all said
Pizza
yes.
Hut or Papa John's. You know, like,
The-
it's like from a
Right.
local place. Like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'll pull up the script from last week because we had the
I think it was
numbers on that one
12 to 20? No, it's more than that.
episode.
The entire rodeo team.
heavy.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Confetti.
The entire rodeo team, every rodeo guest we've had on has said no.
Yeah,
But,
the rodeo gals don't like it.
Immediately it was a no,
Oh, that's fun.
which is very
All right, so
interesting to me that it was
now
just the
that's
rodeo team that
two
said
more
no.
yeses, 22 yeses, and 12 nos.
Okay. That sounds about right.
Yeah. The yeses were making a big lead, and then the nos started making a comeback. But yes is still the majority answer.
Yes.
Maybe it's a change in season.
Maybe.
Maybe
We
it's
did get a
winter.
lot more in the winter, yeah.
Yeah, we did. Well, and our basketball guests are a little iffy
Yeah.
on pineapple on pizza.
Our only real football guest that said they didn't like it was Carson.
Yeah, Carson and was Kenny one of them.
I think Kenny said no too, yeah.
Yeah, no, Carson's
Kenny.
not a fan of it. So, Mr. Carson
And
Williams.
does
was very
chocolate
much-
chips belong on pancakes? Like,
Yes.
for
Yes,
sure.
of course.
Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think our question for next season will be great. Your dad came up with it. We won't share it now, but
Yeah,
it's
it'll be.
it's gonna
That's another good, like, kind of controversial one. So,
Yes.
yeah. What else from the interview stuff? Is that it?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we did our Instagram, we did our get to know you questions, I think. Oh, I didn't do a trivia question. We'll go with that one for this week.
Yeah.
but-
Okay. Moving along with stuff. Recap is a little interesting this week due to our episode schedules and that.
Yes.
So we can talk about both women's games, both the WNIT games, and then golf and track too.
Yeah. Where's the golf and track stuff? Yeah, so the women played Portland on Thursday.
Yep, the 26th.
I do not have the score in front of me. Do you have the score in front of you?
Yeah, 72-54. Yeah, Caden, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but yeah, over 4,000 strong. I mean, that was a super fun game. Like I said, parking was ridiculous. There were a lot of people there. That was a super fun game,
you got to mention the flex cam.
dude. Yeah, so you guys
Shout out Brett.
Shout out Brett Boxwell, my good buddy. He goes to MSU, but yeah, we had a lot of fun. You guys know we're there. We were sitting in the top, up to be the right of the bench, and we were having fun that night. I'm not big on the dance cam, but Aiden, Brady, and Brett were dancing on the dance cam.
Kiss
we had,
cam.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
we were sitting with like probably 15 people we know. The whole volleyball team was to the right of us. Then the flex cam came, and I don't remember if it was the first half or second half.
I think it was second half because I definitely spotted you guys where you were,
Yeah.
And I saw the dance cam. You guys are having fun. Then all of a sudden, we just got like Arnold Schwarzenegger's shirt off, just like doing full like double bicep and lat spreads. I'm like, dude, who is that guy? Like, do we have a bodybuilding program at MSU?
Yeah. So we've always kind of like done the flex cam, like this and stuff. But I mean, like probably one of the last games with the brick, like kind of go all out. Brett's that type of person, so flex cam comes on him. You see the person with the camera set up, and so he rips off his shirt, rips off his sweatshirt, and just goes for it. The entire arena was loving it. I mean, the announcer too. He was like, "There you go, ladies." Yeah, he said, "Welcome to the gun show." He's like, "There you go, ladies."
He's pretty jacked, Jack. He's
Yeah,
a large human.
yeah. I'll find there's a picture of
I'll
video
pull up the
somewhere,
video.
but yeah, we had the whole volleyball team to the right of us. They were loving it, and they know obviously who we are too. So they see us all sitting there and him doing that. But yeah, that was super funny. We had a lot of fun at that game, and the ladies played really well too.
Oh, they crushed it. That was the first game that I'd been to, and I was like, this is serious. Like, I mean, the energy in there, but then the talent on the court, it was just, it was awesome.
Yeah, and Portland was a school we'd actually seen earlier this season. It was, I believe, the second or third game, early in the non-con schedule. But I like seeing their name pop up when I said we're going to play them, because it's like,
flex cam, but there's us on the dance cam. That's awesome.
yeah, no, but like the ladies played really well overall, considering they already beat them once that season. And Portland's not a bad school necessarily, but good win for them. I don't have, well, I guess I kind of have points up, but they played super well.
Taylor had a double-double.
Taylor had a double-double. Addie had, I believe, the
23.
23, yeah. I believe that's her second best game of the season, I think. She played really well.
She had a great game, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, super fun game. We saw a lot of people we knew, talked to the girls afterwards, super fun experience. And then this past Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Cats went out to South Dakota. I think.
Played in Vermillion.
Yeah, in Vermillion against University of South Dakota. I think the game would have been here if the powwow wasn't, or there was some scheduling
I don't know how it
thing.
worked out, but it was in Vermillion.
Yeah, so it ended up being down in South Dakota, which was a
Vermillion.
12-hour drive.
South Dakota.
We went to Boise, but I wasn't going to drive 12 hours for a WNIT game. We're motivated, but not that motivated. So, and ladies fall 65-56. Season's going to come to an end at some point, but they played super well. Yeah, they did. And not that they didn't play well. They played really well. I mean, South Dakota just played a really nice game. What do they call it? Is it Super 8?
The Super 8, and then now it's the Fab 4.
Yeah, so I think when we came back to the episode right after the Starch Madness tournament, we were kind of like, basketball season is done in that. I hadn't thought about the NIT, but I mean, that was obviously a great opportunity for them. It's more basketball at the end of the day, right? Yeah. And they played super well in the first game we watched on TV, and then got to see the in-person game on Thursday. But yeah, I mean, we can talk on the women's season a little bit, but I was super impressed with them this season overall.
It was cool, yeah. My brother-in-law, his uncle is he's like on the fast break club, the quarterback club, the 6-man club. Like, he's a big booster. And so he has been encouraging me to go to a game, I think the past 2 seasons, to a women's game. And, just saw their traction, like been seeing like a lot of updates. I mean, their Instagram has been, really, really cool to see like all their announcements and updates. And, I regret only going to one game. Like, I'm like, gosh, like this was electric. And so he, encouraged us. He's like, well, come down. And we met some of the girls, and he knows them and their families. Like, Taylor was running past him, and he like puts his arm out. She was running to the locker room. She's like, sorry, Dell, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it seems like a really cool culture. I mean, the coach, Binford, is that her name? Yep. Seems like she really has, a great program that she's put together. I think Dell was telling me that all the girls, they have like 3.5 or higher GPA, something like that.
Yeah. They're ridiculous.
They're real smart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just like kind of goes to show, like, we have great culture and great students and great people at MSU and great coaches, case in point with Binford and the girls that she has on her team. So
yeah, I don't know how many Bobcat home games we had this season, but I only missed one of them. We were
missed
on
them.
it this year.
I think I missed 2 or 3.
Yeah. On the women's side of things, we were on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, Aiden, your thoughts on the season? I mean, we had a blast.
I think it was a really good season. I mean, obviously wanted to end it on a win, but I think overall the girls played great, and it's a very young team, and hopefully we can be like the men and keep everyone around. And I think next season should be even better.
Yeah, I think we keep our fingers crossed for portal again, like kind of go back to that retention, which I think the women have the potential to have 100% retention again, but obviously you don't know what happens. But
I'll be real stressed on April 6th.
yeah, your comment about the young team, that was obviously something that we kind of hammered on, especially with our women's guests this season. 3 juniors on the team. So Izzy Bunyan, Ella Johnson, they were both guests, and then Brooke Fatupaito. We're planning an end of season guest show, and Brooke's coming with a couple others, so stay tuned for that. But 3 juniors, 3 sophomores, Addie, Taylor, and Tegan Erickson, and everyone else on the team is freshmen. And I think going into the Big Sky tournament as the 2 seed with no seniors on your team, and the 3 juniors on the team aren't even the ones contributing the most. Still fantastic players on the floor, but most of your production is coming out of sophomores and Taylor, Addie, and then your freshman, Jamison, and that whole core. But, yeah, I think for the team that Trisha had in front of her this year, this was her 21st season. I think she did a fantastic job. 2 seed into the Big Sky. They lose by 3 to Idaho in the Big Sky Championship, and then make an appearance in the Super 8 of WNIT. I don't think really you can. Obviously, it comes down to experience and that, but those ladies are going to have it, especially if they get 100% retention or close to it. I'm super excited to see what they have in store for next season. So we keep our fingers crossed the next couple of weeks that no one leaves, but we'll be keeping you guys up to date on that stuff. But shout out to our 3 women's guests we had throughout the season, Taylor, Ella, and Izzy. A lot of fun talking to you guys on the shows this year, and congrats on a super successful season. So, yeah, closing the book on women's basketball for 2026. Had a lot of fun, and, yeah, good stuff overall. Next note on here, track. Do you have track stuff pulled up? Or do you want me to? A couple honors for them.
2 honors. Sorry, I'm gonna butcher her
Tild.
name. Tild. Don't.
Burager, I think.
Burager broke the school record for the 400-meter hurdles with 57.79. Also got Big Sky Women's Track Athlete of the Week.
Yes.
And then also Sydney Brewster got Women's Field Athlete of the Week for the Big Sky. So,
yeah.
some honors for the Cats. And then golf-wise, Ashley Wilson got Big Sky Golfer of the Week, or co-golfer of the week.
Yeah, which would have been technically like 2 weeks ago, but due to episode schedules, it's out now. Fun stuff overall. Spring sports definitely getting underway. Golf, they're having success. Tennis is getting underway too. I know tennis, they're home, I believe, next weekend. Anna told us, I think. It's the same rodeo weekend, so we'll talk about them next week. They'll be home. Obviously golf getting underway, but kind of wrapping up the winter stuff, moving into the spring stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to see where the spring sports take us. Other Bobcat news, what do we have to talk about? Anything
rodeo
comes to your mind? Yeah.
Next week, Thursday through Sunday. Every night, I believe it's 7, except for Sundays at 1.
Yep.
Go get your tickets. I believe there's still tickets for Friday, Saturday, maybe Thursday. I don't have my computer in front of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, go show out. You can check out our rodeo episode from last week, and then next week.
Yeah, so
not to
go ahead.
interject, but it's also Brock Tessman's inauguration this week, I think on Thursday.
Good to know. Sweet. I'll push that episode. I'll push this episode early so you guys know that. We'll put it on the social media too. Yep. Rodeo, like Aiden just mentioned, episode 28, we had Michaela McCormick, Faith Marshall, Haven Wolstein. That episode is out on all platforms, wherever you find your podcasts, YouTube if you want to watch us too. Yes. We had a lot of fun at that show. We got we learned a lot about rodeo events, all that stuff. So if you're looking for insight ahead of the spring rodeo, check out episode 28. And then
Tune in next week for
yes, episode 30.
30. Yes, this
With-
is 29.
Yeah, with sophomores Ella Modal and Annalise McCurry. Annalise won barrels last year in the Big Sky as a freshman, so a couple big names there as well.
Everyone made it to the CNFR.
Yeah, all CNFR qualifiers, so great episodes. Go check them out. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered the stuff last week for news that we wanted to. That'll be out for people.
Yeah.
Aiden, anything else? John, anything else?
You guys got any last shout-outs you guys want to give?
Who do you guys have for
Shout out
your
to you guys.
fantasy brackets? Who do you think's going to take it?
I have for March Madness.
Yeah.
I have Arizona, but somehow I have a 0% chance to win our football league, and my team's still in it. So I'm kind of.
Who you got?
Duke, baby.
Duke.
Blue Devils went down last night.
Yeah.
Dude,
No one in my Final Four.
How
made
about
it.
UConn's head coach?
I have like a
Yeah.
96 percentile right
Did you see
now.
the video of him?
Wow.
Getting-
Who do you have?
Michigan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Fab 5, right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
I had Florida on my men's side. They were out.
Yeah.
Oh, they got out.
I think my Final Four was Duke, Gonzaga. Oh, now I got to pull it up. I forgot.
You were 0 for 4.
I was. I have no one left. Yeah. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I heard that someone has like a family March Madness bracket, and they have like the dog or the cat, like who you want it, and they always choose the cat chooses if an animal is playing, they always choose the cat. If it's a cat versus a cat, they choose the bigger cat. Cat has won like the past 10 years.
Dude.
Dude,
That's nuts.
All right. My Final Four was Duke,
Yeah, we'll see.
Vanderbilt, Texas Tech, and Gonzaga.
0 for 4.
Yeah. And they were all out before the Elite Eight, with the exception of Duke, I think.
Yeah.
I did not do well this year,
Um,
which is stupid because
on
I've won the last 2 years. But
Yeah. On the women's side of things, Brady, who's not here tonight, he was perfect through the first round in his women's bracket and then was almost perfect through the second round, which
He
is
only
really
had Iowa
impressive.
Was the only one that he had wrong.
Yeah, he missed Iowa, but yeah, he was doing really well. I think his bracket is still like pretty much alive, but
I think he's missed like 2 picks the entire thing.
yeah.
Kudos, Brady, wherever you are.
Yeah. Yeah, anything else from you guys you want to one thing I did want to hit on since we're getting in the spring and summer season is camps. John mentioned it a little bit, but you guys I know are both involved in that stuff. So tell us about we've seen stuff on the social media, but for the people who don't know, tell us what's coming up for camps this summer.
Yeah, so this year we upscaled quite a bit. Last year we did 2, one in Billings, one in Bozeman, and a huge turnout. We had over 500 kids at 2 camps. And this year with, the whole scope of MSU and Montana football, we were like, let's take advantage of how big it is right now, and we upscaled to 5. So we're going to Missoula on June 6th, and then the whole month, it'll be every weekend on from there in June. Missoula, Billings, Butte, Helena, Great Falls. So partnering with John for that, for some stuff and some fun things with merchandise, and it'll be Taco and I and all of our teammates, and I don't know, they're really fun. I mean, we have a website. I think it's Taco and Adam summerfootballcamps.com, but there's more information there, and obviously on our social medias, but it's fun.
Yeah, and I would add to that with every single camp, whether it's Helena, you're going to have the Helena guys from the Bobcats working that camp. Great Falls, same thing. Missoula, same thing. So I think that's a pretty cool thing that, kids in these cities that look up to people that are from exactly where they're from, not only Montana, but the very city they're from, the same high school they're going to go to. They get to see that. And then if anyone out there has kids that, maybe finances are an issue and you guys can't make it to camp, there is an opportunity for those kids to make it. We do have a little scholarship fund, so I just like to throw that out there.
That's a great point.
This is a camp that's being run by national champions. Like on the shirt it says national champions built in Montana. Like if your kid wants to go to MSU and be a national champion,
Yeah.
this is
There you go.
the camp. Sorry, I had to hype that up. To you guys. Like, you did a good job, though. Like,
Yeah.
especially after coming off this win, this is gonna be a really special event for those weeks in June. I'm stoked. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
and
awesome.
John, before we started, you mentioned you're kind of partnering with them for the camps and stuff with apparel and
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I'm doing camp shirts. So in every camper will be given a shirt included in their package. But Adam and I, we're wearing our Adam's new apparel line, AJ23. So we'll have shirts and hats. I think some hoodies, some shorts. A couple different options for kids' youth sizes and then adult sizes as well. And then Caden and I are still doing some tweaks on his brand and logo, and we'll be announcing that shortly before the camps get started. So I'll have a tent, and then Taco will have a tent too. He'll be having TD14 there. So if you're looking to get on the brand new gear for this upcoming season, if you want to support these players, this is gonna be the first place that you can do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. It'll be fun spring and summer. We've got a bunch of fun shows coming up, and then rolling into the summer with camps and all that. And then last week we said before we know it, it'll be September again. It'll be football season again. So yeah, really looking forward to it. That pretty much wraps things up. So guys, thank you for tuning into episode 29 of Bobcat Weekly. John, thank you for sitting down and telling us all about AO and everything you got going with it. I think we're super excited to hear more about it, and certainly looking to partner with you and what you're doing. So excited to get that going. And national champs Adam and Caden, thank you guys for coming on as well, offering insight into the NIL stuff and everything else in between. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the show. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on social media, Instagram. We're on Twitter, working on the TikTok page too.
Whenever Bernie gets around to it.
Yeah. We're on all podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. We're on YouTube if you want to watch us too. Anything else before we get out of here? I think it's pretty much it.
Nope. Good.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week for episode 30 with Ella Modal and Annalise McCurry for a little rodeo insight ahead of the spring rodeo. Spring rodeo next weekend. Get your tickets. But until then, we'll see you next time. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Cats.